Welcome Exiles to all the Harvest revealed patch notes. Now, I don't really have quite enough time to really do a fully fleshed out edited video, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go through each of the most powerful crafts I see on this list and how to abuse them. I'm going to pinpoint all of them. I'm going to basically cut together a bunch of segments of me going over how you can guarantee these crafts and what you can use with them. And then I'll timestamp everything so you can go through and say, oh, here's how to get guaranteed Tailwind. You skip to that part of the video and you can check it out. Here's how to get guaranteed Explode mod. Skip to that part of the video, check it out. I'm going to go over basically all the biggest things that pop in my head right away. And that way, if there's any of these crafts that apply to you, you're like, this is something I want to craft. Hopefully it'll be a pretty extensive list about really powerful mods, and then you can use this however you please. And hopefully throughout the league, I'll maybe learn more to add to the list, but for right now, let's get into this. To start off with, you're going to notice this pattern, which is they pick a affix type, which is like caster, attack, fire, lightning, cold, chaos, physical, attack, speed. They pick one of those modifier types, and then they give it a bunch of targeted currency for those mod types. So you get an Exalt that guarantees a Fizz mod. You get an Exalt that guarantees a Fire mod. You get an Exalt that guarantees a Cold mod. That type of thing. Or you get an Ultimate Orb for a Fire mod, an Ultimate Orb for a Chaos mod, an Ultimate Orb for a Physical mod. You get all these targeted currencies, and then with those, you can make some really unique outcomes happen. So with that in mind, now we can get in to what crafts we can abuse for this. For this video in particular, I'm going to be going over targeted exalts because they're a lot of the guaranteed potent crafts and they're really powerful, and I think those are the ones you really should know how to use. Now to start off with, for the exalt craft for caster modifiers, one of the easiest and best ones I can think of right away is guaranteed spell crit. If you have a shaper chest or a hunter chest, if you block off all the prefixes, you can guarantee spell crit when you augment it with a caster mod, because none of the other suffixes in the pool are caster mods. Therefore, if you do it with a shaper chest, you have a 1 in 2 chance to get tier 1 crit chance. If you do it with a elder chest, or not elder, hunter, you get a 1 in 2 chance to get spell crit. Now for physical mods, if we're talking best of the best for mods we can exalt on, we're talking about ExplodeChest pieces. You can actually guarantee the ExplodeChest mod, but it's a little bit complicated. The reason being is Crusader has another physical mod here, which says add or fizz damage taken as lightning. This mod has the mod group of physical damage taken as element. This can be blocked if you have another item of this mod group, and there is one that we can guarantee craft, and it's with an essence. So if you grab a Essence of Horror, you can have the physical damage taken as element mod group blocked off. Therefore, the Crusader mod here can't roll, but you also have to hit a fizz damage reflection mod as well. If you hit those two mods with an Essence of Horror craft with an open prefix, and you exalt on a physical mod, this is the only one that can occur. Guaranteed explosion mod chest, and you can awaken orbit after that. I mentioned this one in a video earlier, but reforging a non-white socket on the item, turning it white, you can just keep using this on whatever 6-link you're using. Guaranteed way to get basically 6 whites on an item. I would highly recommend it. It's a tier 1 seat. I feel like this is going to be fairly common, and you're going to be able to get all your gear with white sockets this way. Now augment an item with a new fire modifier. One of the best things I see about using this is guaranteed fire.multi. This works the same with cold.multi. It works the same with chaos.multi. Basically all you got to do, so you'll see here I pull up a quiver like this, or pair of gloves works the same way. You block fire res, you craft fire res onto the item, and then the only other fire suffix you can hit on a hunter item is fire.multi. Same with cold.multi, same with chaos.multi. This would be for pairs of gloves or this quiver. So if you wanted a chaos.multi quiver, you would block chaos res, because there are chaos augments here. So chaos res, you block chaos res, you come down here, only other chaos mod you can hit on the suffix is chaos.multi. Guaranteed chaos.multi right there, and you're good to go. Next up, Fracture Craft. This is very powerful. In case you weren't around here for Synthesis, Synthesis items dropped with a mod that was fractured, which that meant if an item's fractured, a specific mod on it was never changed. So say there was an item that had 50% increased fizz damage, like a wand or something, and you recrafted it, and that was the fractured mod. Every single time you threw a Chaos Orb at it, the 50% fizz damage would stay. Now, where is this super powerful? I'll give you a really clean example right here. Say if we go to something like a wand, this will be the same case for a weapon. Just basically what it is you're taking a very rare mod that occurs on a normal item, and you're locking it in. So something like a Merciless, if you had Merciless on a Val Axe per se, you could have a 1 in 5 or 1 in 3 chance at locking in Merciless, which would make the axe crafting very easy. If you lock in Merciless and you just craft until you get high flat fizz, all of a sudden you have a crazy fizz DPS axe. So all you got to do, this is the tier 4 fruit. I'm guessing this is basically one of the boss fruits more or less because the modifier here is insane. is it says you have a chance at one of these three things. You can A, fracture a modifier with 5 mods on it already. So you have a 1 in 5 at hitting the really good mod and fracturing and locking it in on the item. Or B, you could get fracture 3 suffixes or fracture 3 prefixes. So you can lock in a really good suffix or a really good prefix. Best use cases are something like locking in a Merciless, locking in a +1 to level spells, +1 to all spells. Locking one of those mods in and then recrafting it would make it a lot easier to hit a +2 wand or a +5 staff. Stuff like that becomes very doable if you can lock in those type of mods. Here we are, augment an item with a new attack modifier. I said it, same with the caster mods. This one's a body armor attack crit option. There's other ways you can use this, but this is one of the most powerful ways. Basically, you take a chest that's 100 base, you awaken orb, a additional curse, and explode mod chest together, and then you just exalt on an attack mod on the suffix, onto the suffix. All of a sudden, you have an additional curse, explode mod, and attack crit. You're set to go. That's a good chest. Augment on a new life modifier. One of my favorite things I've come up with this is a guaranteed way to exalt on a increased life. Basically what you do is you take a chest that has really good flat life, you craft hybrid life on it, so those are the 2 possible normal prefixes of life that can occur, and then you exalt on another life modifier and on prefix. Guaranteed, only one it can hit is increased maximum life for the Elder chest, and increased life, well actually, for Hunter chest it's not guaranteed. You have a 4 out of 5 chance to hit increased life, and small chance you hit the regen. So, more or less, Elder chest is guaranteed life. With Hunter, it's not quite so guaranteed. You can do a similar thing with belts, where if you have really high life on a belt and you have an open prefix, and it's a Hunter belt or an Elder belt, you can guarantee that increased life Exalt Slam. Bada bing, bada boom, the item got a whole lot better. Next up, speed modifiers. You want to craft Tailwind easily? This is how you do it. If you block all your prefixes off and you're exalting on a suffix, you look at the Hunter pool, speed modifier, Tailwind's the only one. Normal suffix pool, no speed modifiers. Guaranteed, the only speed modifier you can exalt onto that item is Tailwind. These crafts here are all pretty interesting. I have no idea what a Fast lens is. I'm guaranteed we're going to figure that out. But one really powerful craft I noticed already, attempt to awaken a level 20 support gem that can be awakened with a 5% chance. If it does not awaken, it is destroyed. What you want to do is find the most expensive awakened gem and use that. This is a money-making thing. Don't use it to make your own awakened gem. You want to use this on multi-strike or you want to use it on spell echo. Whichever one is the most expensive awakened gem, you want a 1 in 20 chance at making the most money. If you hit that, you can sell it and get whatever awakened gem you want. So definitely use this on the most expensive gem possibility that is out there. Set a new implicit modifier on a jewel. This is pretty self-explanatory, but basically take your best rare jewels, throw an implicit on it. Just makes it better. Can't go wrong there. Or if you get a bad implicit, I think this sounds like you can basically keep rolling the implicit if you keep using the same jewel. Synthesize an item, giving it random synthesized implicits. Cannot be used on unique, influenced, synthesized, or fractured items. Basically what this is, in Synthesis League, there are very, very powerful implicits for items like +1 to max power charge, +1 frenzy charge, +1 endurance charge, onslaught on hit, arcane surge on hit, onslaught boots. There was a lot of very powerful modifiers, and if you crafted on that base, you were going to have a good time, generally speaking. This is something that can create very powerful bases. Basically, what I would do is grab an item level 86 of a particular base you want a chance of getting a really good implicit on, and throw this craft at it, maybe get something good. Most of the time, you're probably going to get something worthless, but it's worth a shot. Next up, we're augmenting on a Chaos modifier. This is very powerful for Chaos Dot amulets. If you want to do something with Caustic Arrow, Toxic Rain, Essence Drain, Contagion, this is how you do it. You grab an amulet. That is a Hunter amulet. You go ahead, you roll +1 dexterity, +1 intelligence, whichever one of those you need, whether it's Caustic Arrow or it's going to be Essence Drain, you get intelligence or dexterity respectively. Next up, you basically want to annul off your other prefixes. So if you have other prefixes on there, you want to take a chance of getting rid of them. So that way you only have +1 dex or +1 intelligence. Next up, you're going to do this basically augmenting a Chaos modifier. What you're going to notice here, Chaos modifiers on the prefix pool, there aren't any. On the Hunter pool, there are 2. You're going to do this twice. Basically, you'll get Chaos Life, and then you're going to get +1 to Chaos Gems. All of a sudden, you have a +2 to Chaos dot skill, whatever one you're choosing. Next up, you block Chaos Res. Sorry, for the whole craft, you're going to have Chaos Res blocked. You're going to craft Chaos Res. You do it again, and you have a chance at also getting Chaos dot multi over time. Now, all of a sudden, you have a +2 amulet with Chaos dot multi over time. Here's another thing. You can fix your prefixes too. You say you're a life build, say you're an ES build, all you gotta do, get the modifier that says remove life mod. All of a sudden you get rid of that chaos damage leech now that you have the +2 gem levels and the chaos dot multi, and then you go ahead and you augment on life or you augment on defense. Bada bing, bada boom. You're sitting at a top tier amulet right there. Augment on an item with a critical modifier. Now this might be an error on PODB's part where they don't actually tell you this has an affix type of critical, but my guesses are if it has critical in the line, it's a critical modifier. If you have something that says global crit chance, if you have something that says global crit multi, those are critical modifiers. This craft right here would be a great way to fix up your suffixes on a weapon. Say you want a high crit chance, high crit multi. These crit modifiers here to keep re-rolling your crit mods is a great way to do so. Other things like say you want Tailwind Elusive boots, there's a possibility Elusive's a crit multiplier, and you can guarantee Exalt on Elusive on kill. So you can craft a good pair of boots with an open suffix and open prefix, and you can guarantee Tailwind, and you can guarantee Elusive. All of a sudden, you got a mirror tier freaking item. It's a good time. It's a good time indeed. Last but not least, we have the augment on a influence modifier. I went over this craft in the previous video of possible abuse cases for it. There's a ton of them. Really, just check out that video if you're curious about how to abuse this craft. For finishing off this video, I want to leave you with this thought on how you abuse this. Here's the general rule of thumb. Essentially, what you want to do is if you see that there's fire modifiers on the suffix and prefix pool, and the fire modifier you want to target is on the suffix pool, you need to make sure all the prefixes are taken up, and you want to block the other bad fire modifier on that suffix pool. Stuff like that. That's what you got to look for, is making sure the only pool you're exalting is the suffix or the prefix pool based on where your modifier is you're looking for, and then you want to block the other modifiers that can occur in that pool to guarantee you get the mod you want. Now I know I was speaking kind of like 90 miles a minute and I was only covering the most expensive crafts here. If you got any questions, feel free, stop by my stream. I'm going to start streaming a little bit before League launch, and then pretty much fairly 24/7 each day while I'm playing PoE I'll be streaming, so feel free to just come by, ask if you have any questions, or just come to hang out, watch how it's going. I'm going to be starting as Trickster RF, and hopefully that goes pretty well for me, but maybe it might not. We'll see. Anyways, I'm excited about crafting some gear, and I hope you guys are too. I will see you guys in Harvest League, farming away, getting those sweet, juicy, juicy, juicy crafts out.